You know, it was always he would focus on the negatives, but he wouldn't focus on the, the good things that I would do in the relationship. And so, how sometimes that somebody tells you something repeatedly, you start to think that, and you start to question yourself. And, being divorced, that was one of the darkest periods of my life, because I was like, I felt like a failure. I felt like I'd given somebody 110% of me, and I got 50 back. But still, even though it was going downhill, I still gave and gave and gave and gave. Because you think that if you give, it'll be, given back to you. But oftentimes it doesn't, you know.
That's what happens. Yeah, you get to a point where, I mean, I'm 18 years in February.
Wow.
So, I mean, you meet a man that you think that you'll be with forever. You feel you love him. Why would you marry him if you didn't love him? So it was something you just kind of have to, now that I look at it, I have to really look back and think deep, because the issues that he had all 18 years, they were right there in the very beginning. I was given all kind of signs that, you need to be careful. But what I did instead is I just followed whatever it was that I was following. And it could be because, I've heard throughout the years, you were married, you married because your biological clock is ticking. Well, at that time, I mean, that was ridiculous. I met him when I was 24. I married him at 28, So I didn't really understand that, but he would often mention that. You didn't never love me. He when he was his most angry, because he drunk every day, he would say that, you never loved me. I felt you never loved me. And that would hurt me, because, and then I think, well, you have somebody telling you that enough, you start believing maybe I didn't. I still think to this day, well, did I? I know what my heart felt back then. I felt, yeah, but I still question it now as we're sitting here talking about it. But yeah, it was, people talk about they want to be married and different things like that. Marriage is all kinds of compromise. You compromise. I was at a point in that 18-year marriage where I compromised everything to the point where I don't even know who I am. I gave him everything. Except if you look at it, I was damn near giving him my soul. It was literally leaving me. So, I think about that, and I look at people when they say, oh, I wish I was married. You got to be really careful what you ask for, because you may get that, but you may not get it the way that you want it, because, yeah, I wanted to be married. I wanted that perfect marriage, that perfect life, that perfect husband, the perfect kids, and I created that. In my head, I created that. When you looked at my family, they were picture perfect. We all were beautiful. That's what you saw. But the grimy truth of it all is you got not only the mother, but you got kids just hanging on by a thread. Because you just got a man that's in there just killing the core of his family because he's mentally ill and he won't identify that. Right. His mother is mentally ill. And these people walk around and pretend like they don't see it. Nobody ever real talk you. Nobody ever sat you down and said, you know what, there's some things that you do and say that you might want to get that checked out. Nobody cared enough to do that for his mother. So therefore, when somebody's reaching out and I'm his wife and I'm begging him to go get that checked out, you're off and on. You're at the point where you could hurt somebody. You're putting your hands on your son, treating him any old kind of way, calling him everything but the son of God, You're not treating your daughter right. You talk bad to your wife in front of your kids. What example are you for your son? So you think about that, and I tell myself, I'll just wait. I'll wait till my kids go to college.
It's that loyalty
Yeah.
in you. That's
Yeah.
you know.